Ici Londres.
10,000 years ago, our remote ancestors discovered farming. A tremendous breakthrough, but it didn't take long for a further discovery to follow, which is that it's much easier to seize somebody else's harvest than to spend all year growing your own crops. And thus, marauding and predation became almost the immediate consequence of the agrarian revolution. And very soon after that, it was discovered that if you could regularize that predation through tithes and tolls and taxes, you would have the best possible outcome, the best possible ratio of effort to result. And so the first civilizations were born in tyranny. The Iron Age slave empires were not so very different from what was to happen for thousands of years afterwards. Medieval European monarchy would have not been so very different politically from a contemporary African kleptocracy. A gang of people get into power and systematically loot the resources of the state for the benefit of themselves and their children. Slavery and serfdom, caste and oppression, these were the lot of the human species for the better part of 10,000 years until a miraculous breakthrough occurred in some damp, green, misty islands at the western tip of the Eurasian landmass. And people hit on the idea of secure property rights that were not within the whim of the ruler, but were rather subject to a legal system that stood above the government of the day. And from that discovery of the sanctity of property and the rule of law followed the market system that has done so much to lift our species to happiness and prosperity. Remember that story the next time you're told that the market system encourages greed or selfishness or inhumanity. Nothing could be further from the truth. The best way to make people think empathetically, to draw people into relations one with another, is precisely by encouraging a system where they can buy and sell and keep the profits of that exchange. When you're selling, you have to put yourself into the shoes of your customer. That's what made a mercantile, modern society different from a warrior society based on honor and vengeance. Capitalism, far from leaving us as atomized individuals, has drawn us together as no other system before or since. And so don't let anyone tell you that although it may be efficient, it's immoral. Nothing is more moral than a free association between consenting individuals. Think of the miracle that's gone into producing this video that you're watching now. Think of the programming, the electronics, all of the people who made this extraordinary thing possible, none of whom were interested in the outcome, none of whom could have done the whole package and delivered the product. They were only working on their little bit, and that's the wonder of specialization and exchange. That's what's made the modern world. It's what's lifted us from poverty and destitution to the extraordinary pinnacles of literacy and longevity, health and happiness that we enjoy today. You doubt me? You think I'm being unfair? You think that I'm missing some big component? Well, ask yourself this. If you had to be poor somewhere, would you rather be poor in North Korea or in South Korea? If you had to be a grungy Occupy demonstrator, would you rather have done it in East Berlin or in West Berlin? Those slave empires, that tyrannical, oppressive lot of humanity that was so common for so long, is the product of every other form of economic organization, because they all, in the end, become extractive and oligarchic. The best way, the only way to secure the liberty and happiness of the individual is the free market.